Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Big Bang Theory. This is the third episode of the 8th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like today's full episode, it is available for the link in the description below. Just click on it, put a password in, and enjoy. So obviously the first episode is about Sheldon returning after being on his little trip 45 days later. You know, he looked homeless, so he obviously explained that his stuff was robbed. You know, Leonard come to pick him up and he was trying to deal with the change of Penny, who's obviously cut her hair now, and obviously it was too much for him, it's overwhelming, and he kind of like ran away again. You know, that was interesting stuff. And then obviously talking about Penny, you know, it's now she's got a new position, she's got a job in Bernadette's work, and she's trying to give her advice last episode, and like a welcome pack so she can get herself, you know, clued up and ahead of the game before she goes in there and starts doing a position that she has no actual knowledge of. And obviously Penny was taking some time to actually review this, which was kind of getting Bernadette a little bit upset, getting in a huff, a little bit of a hump. And then you know, Amy's in the middle. She's kind of like talking to both of the girls. She's loving it. It's like she's in high school. Do you know what I mean? Finally reliving the popular girl moments where everybody's seeking kind of advice, and you could see that she was proper entertained by that. And then, you know, interestingly, you talk about Sheldon. You know, he's finally been able to move away from doing, you know, basically searching for what he's previously been working on, string theory, to now obviously dark matter. And the only way you could do that actually is by moving up and being a junior professor where he's got to teach a class. Now obviously everybody's heard that Sheldon's going to be the teacher. Nobody signed up. Now interestingly, Howard is like, look, you know what, you know, screw this, you know, I'm looking for one day to be a doctor myself. Why not actually take his class and it'll be fun? Well, it turns out it wasn't fun, because Sheldon was actually trying to catch him out at every little opportunity to say that he's superior and he doesn't know anything. And obviously the fact that engineering is much easier than what he's teaching. Now, so there was back and forth bantering all episode, and it looked like Howard's about to drop out of his class before it seemed like they resolved the problems. And at the end of the episode, they was all sat around studying, having a good time. So hopefully we can continue doing that. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
So how does this game work? I just throw it like a real ball?
Yep, just nice and easy, right over the plate.
You suck, Wallowitz! Given that you're probably still waiting to be picked for a game that was played in 5th grade, I'm sure you do suck.
Okay, it's not what I meant when I said go outside and play.
The Angels wanted an astronaut to throw out the first pitch, so guess who they called?
I guess that makes you the athlete of the group.
Yeah, well, not just him. Wait, may I remind you that you're talking to the seeker, beater, chaser, and water boy of the 3rd place Griffith Park Quidditch team. You look like a jackass!
How are you hurting my feelings?
Now you know why we're not outside.
Did you enjoy my lecture?
No, and neither did our waiter.
Wait, if you're going to serve Cornish game hen, you should either be familiar with the history of Cornwall or be prepared to learn it.
How was dinner?
Good. I had Cornish game hen.
Oh, that poor waiter.
I missed a number of date nights while I was on my train trip, and I'm contractually obligated to make them up.
That's so hot.
If you're free tomorrow night, I'd love to have you join us on a double date.
You are aware that a double date doesn't count as 2 dates.
Well, then come or don't, I don't care.
Believe you're sore.
Hey, even professional pitchers need a rub down after the game.
I'm kind of surprised you agreed to do this in front of a stadium full of people. Well, if you want, I can help you practice. I played a lot of softball growing up. Hey, and while we're at it, maybe we could butch up your run for when you head out to the mound.
I'm surprised you choose to go to a pub.
Well, at our committee meeting, Amy made a motion for a picnic in a park, but I tacked so many amendments on that thing, it sank like a lead balloon.
You don't even like Yorkshire pudding.
No, it's yucky, but informing people about the history of Yorkshire is yummy, yum, yum. Ignore them, Amy. They're just jealous because they'll never have a relationship as good as ours. Stating fact, Amy and I have a superior relationship to yours. Thinking of relationships in our circle by quality is me and Amy, Howard and Bernadette, Raj and his girlfriend, Penny and Chardonnay, Penny and you.
Yeah, and actually, I drink Sauvignon Blanc.
The pitcher's mound in Major League Baseball is 60 feet 6 inches away from home plate.
Great. You take this and say when to stop.
I'll let you know.
Was it the full court?
Saying stop and we're just too far away to hear you? Are you kidding me?
That's 60 feet.
There's no way this is 60 feet.
I'm looking at it.
You realize this isn't one of those times I want you to exaggerate how long something is.
Yeah, the thing is, right, it looks quite far, but throwing it at a pace of a baseball player when they're absolutely pulling their arm back and probably kinking it as full speed, that's kind of hard to hit a direction. But to stand on one end and just hit the target, like, I could pretty much guarantee if I stood on one end and the Bernadette was stood at the other, I could throw the ball to her. I'd count myself. I wouldn't go 99 times out of 100 because there's always inconsistencies, but I would go at least over 90% of the time I stood at one end and just threw it, I could hit her. Now, at speed and at a target and in front of people with a proper stance and pitch like a baseball player, I'm not too sure that would be kind of hard. But obviously, just hitting it in a light throw over arm just towards her, you know what I mean? Kind of like you got a tennis ball and you just threw it across, like, to someone to catch it. I could probably hit them. But, like, that distance at full speed, it is going to be pretty difficult.
What makes you think that your relationship is so wonderful and ours isn't?
For starters, we enjoy spending time together.
So do we. And I've seen you guys ignore each other for hours doing totally different things. You believe this guy has to be the best at everything.
So what? Why do you even care?
Oh, listen to them. Not even married and the honeymoon's over. I'd like to tell you about 13 plucky colonies that entered a relationship agreement called the U.S. Constitution. But I think that love affair is still pretty hot today.
It's a good thing I'm not wearing flag underwear right now, because there's about to be a fire.
Just look to where you want to throw it, step towards where you want to throw, and throw it.
Like saying, here's how you fly a plane, get in the airplane, know where you want to go, and fly it.
I'd love actually to have a go at this. I've never done it before.
So when do you guys plan on getting married?
We're not sure, but I want to wait long enough to prove to my mother I am not pregnant.
Can I have a bite of your burger?
No.
Absolutely not.
Some perfect couple, he won't even share his food with her.
It has avocado on it. She's allergic to avocado.
I'm not jealous. I just think it's silly for you to compare relationships like there's something that can be quantified. How ridiculous is he?
100.
French fries have 3 variables: crispiness, saltiness, and shape, which is why a curly fry only gets a 2. You know, if I wanted curls for dinner, I'd order a clown wig.
Well, a relationship is more complicated than a French fry.
Not according to the work of Berscheid, Snyder, and Emoto.
They developed the Relationship Closeness Inventory, which predicts the stability of a couple based on behavior.
So this is accurate?
It's been around for 25 years and has been extensively corroborated by other researchers.
Fine, we'll take it right now.
Don't take it.
Why not?
Because it's stupid. Who cares what number it is?
Come on, it'll be fun.
I said I don't want you to.
I know that they've just gone through that, right? But they've got a scoring system. And obviously somebody who's mutually into the same interests are going to score higher. For example, you know, 2 people who are into science, they're going to score higher in a mutual compatibility test than somebody who's into science and the other person who's hardcore into sports, like Penny and Leonard. Do you know what I mean? She's more of a sports person. He doesn't really compete in that. He probably couldn't name any baseball players, NFL players or whatever. But like when it comes to science, he can name everything she can't. Where if you flip it towards Amy and Sheldon, both of them are in the science field, so both of them have got a common interest, they'll score higher. But that doesn't mean that they're more compatible in being a couple. And the reason why I say that is the whole point about being a couple is having enjoyment in the time that you are together, regardless of what interests are. You know, you can have 2 couples interested in totally different things, but when they're together, they enjoy spending the time and they're completely happy in each other's environment. What's wrong with that couple? Nothing. Just because they'll score less in a knowledge test in terms of interest doesn't mean that their relationship's any worse than somebody else's. So, yeah, I do think Leonard and Penny will score completely lower than Amy and Sheldon. But no, I don't feel like they're any different in terms of relationship. To be honest, I'd probably rather be in their relationship than I would be in Sheldon and Amy's.
Getting any better?
That's so bad.
Yep. Heads up! Watch out!
Is this about the test or is this about us?
Look, I don't need a score on a test to make me worry about something I'm already worried about. That we're engaged and have nothing in common, and it scares me.
Yeah, that scares me too.
Well, that's not good.
Okay, well, this might make you feel better. We're both scared that our marriage will be a disaster, and so that's something that we have in common. See, you're not laughing.
He's just trying to cheer her up.
NASA asked me to throw out the first pitch at an Angels game. You got any advice?
Yeah, don't do it. If you do well, no one cares. And if you screw up, you're an idiot on YouTube forever. That's what I'm telling you. Kids are the worst.
Maybe I'll do a good job.
I don't know. In space, you couldn't even toss me a pen, and that was in zero gravity.
Sorry about that.
No, we're sorry. We never should have been comparing relationships in the first place.
I just want to say one more thing about this. Just because Penny and I are very different people does not mean that we're a bad couple.
It's like when I thought there was a possum in my closet. Did I sit around wondering? No. I sent Leonard in with a pointy stick in a bag.
Let's just take the test.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, because you know we're gonna do bad.
Because it doesn't matter. You're scared, I'm scared, but it doesn't make me not want to do it. It just makes me want to hold your hand and do it with you.
It would make me so happy if you said things like that.
We got an 8.2. Trust me, you're happy.
Oh, I love how they put a waterfall at center field. It really ties the whole stadium together.
Nobody said anything about watching the game. I expected to see Howard throw the baseball, finish my hot dog, and hightail it across the street to Disneyland just in time for Mickey's sensational parade.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. I'm proud of me too.
Look at him.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Space Day at Angel Stadium, the first pitch will be thrown out by NASA astronaut Howard Wolowitz.
The message for the young people here today. Today's first pitch will be delivered to home plate by science. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you a working prototype of the Mars rover. And the pitch.
Oh, it's slow. I thought it was going to be a catapult for it.
Okay, new plan. We go to Disneyland, play hide and seek on Tom Sawyer's Island, and then come back and see the end of the pitch.
Okay, while we're waiting for the ball to arrive, here's some fun facts about Mars. You suck, Wolowitz!
He had good intentions and poor execution.
Okay, moving it again to make it go any faster.
Yeah, he had a good intention but poor execution. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, if it was science that was invited there to do the first pitch, then what more interesting and better way than getting a Mars rover to absolutely catapult 100 mile an hour right at the first pitch? But obviously didn't happen, and it was 1 mile an hour. It was like a slug. It was so slow. So I got to give him A for effort, F for, you know what I mean, F for execution. Now, interestingly, you know, they're at the baseball stadium now. I remember when I went to the US last year. Was it last year or the year before? Sometime anyway, in the last 2 years. I actually went to a baseball game, and like the stadium is huge like that, but like it was dead. Honestly, it was like a quarter full. Now I don't get it. Did they ever get full? Because I was looking at the schedule, and they have a game like every 2 days or something like that. It was just game after game after game, and it lasted like 5 hours as well. Honestly, it really did. You know what I mean? I find it interesting going to sports that like you can't watch in the UK. I mean, you probably can watch it, but it's not as if like it's just there as an easy access. You can't just turn the sports channel on and boom, you got a baseball game. You know what I mean? It's got to be like search deep into it. What channel specifically got a certain game? If you can't find it, you have to go on the internet. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not something that we're into. So like, when you go to these countries, you know, and these sports that obviously everybody loves, I always enjoy going to them, like an NFL game or you know, a Major League Baseball or whatever is an NBA. It's good to see. But again, you know, I do think that he could have actually made that throw. You know, just standing there throwing it underarm or overarm without full pace, he could have made it pretty accurately. But if he was trying to do it as a baseball pitcher would do, where he'd lean back and step forward and absolutely just ping it as try and do it like 100 mile an hour, I feel like he'd probably fail. So, you know, at least he tried to do it. You know, like I said, you got to give A for effort and F for execution. But, you know, at least he's made some sort of, what would you call it now? Some sort of advertisement for science, because now it's probably going to go on YouTube like his mate was saying, you know, astronaut booed at, and you know what I mean, MLB game. So he's probably made headlines, but not the ones that he wanted. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Another major talking point in the episode was actually the compatibility test that Sheldon, obviously, Amy took and said they got an 8.2 out of 10. Now, I actually firmly believe that obviously if Penny and Leonard took it, that they would score a lot less. You know, they probably would be about 5, 4, 5 or whatever it is. But I also firmly believe that that doesn't make them a worse couple than, you know, than Amy and Sheldon. I used an analogy before, and I think it pretty much stands true to what I was saying. I feel like it was actually a pretty decent one that I used, and it was if you take two people with a common interest and put them together against two people that have two different interests in together, then if you're going to score a compatibility test against them both, then the people with two of the same interests are going to score higher. Now, you could flip that and say, well, obviously they're more suited for each other, when again, I firmly believe that that is not the case. I personally think that obviously just because people in a relationship have different interests, it doesn't mean that they're not compatible as an item together. You know, the whole point of being in a relationship with somebody is to enjoy the whole experience in the package. So obviously, if you look at Penny, she supports Leonard in what he does, and he tries to support her wherever it is. Now, that shows that obviously they care and they're affectionate, do you know what I mean, for each other. And then when they're in each other's company, just them two, they have, you know, a bond that obviously other people don't have. You know what I mean? Like, you can easily be in a relationship where somebody likes one thing and you like the other. But when you're both together, you have a laugh, you enjoy it, you don't want to be around anybody else, you know, you have a great time. You know, you enjoy eating out, watching movies, traveling, experiencing life. And then obviously you come home, and on a weekday, you might go and play sports for 3 days, and she might go and, you know, do some science stuff or acting stuff for 3 days. And obviously both of you have not got any interest in what any of you are doing. But when you finish that interest that you're doing, your sports or your acting or your science, and you come back together as a unit, the time flies. You know what I mean? It just goes like that. It's the next day already. Why? Because you've had fun and you've been around somebody that actually makes your life happier. And that's what I think them two do. I feel like Stuart hit on the head perfectly when he was doing that game night, when he was basically saying that those two are probably the best couple that they've got. Because, yeah, okay, they're different and they've come from different ways of life and they're both into different things. But when you put them together collectively as a unit, they kind of morph into one, and they're the best couple. And, you know, I'm not saying that they are the best couple in the show, but I'm actually saying that, you know, if I was to actually rank who's in a better relationship, Penny or Leonard, or Amy and Sheldon, then I'll personally rather be in the Penny and Leonard relationship, to be honest. You know, Amy might be okay with all of the rules and regulations that Sheldon has laid out in the you know, the relationship agreement. But at the end of the day, just rather be open and honest and just get about and do whatever I wanted to. Have some ups and have some downs, you know, it all can't be plain sailing. And I don't think that the relationship that Penny and Leonard have got a bad. They've been through a rough patch and broke up and got back together, and probably makes them stronger for the long game. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like they are a good couple, and I don't think any test or whatever's that a computer or the internet's telling you should determine anything about the relationship. So I'm glad that that actually didn't get ruined today. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.